Top 10 most beautiful natural crystals ever found. Some crystals shine, others sparkle, but a rare few command silence. These are more than just gemstones. They are natural cathedrals, frozen lightning bolts, fragments of ancient oceans, and even messengers from outer space. Each crystal is formed not over years, but millions, even billions of years. Some crystals are so large they fill entire rooms. Others are so perfect they have never been cut. And crystal number one? It doesn't fit in a box. It's taller than a man, and it shines like royalty. These are the 10 most beautiful natural crystals ever found. And once you've seen them, you may never look at a stone the same way again. Don't forget to press and hold that like button, leave a comment, and hit subscribe before we begin. Ranked 10, Pyrite, geometry in gold. From a distance, it shimmers like treasure, but up close, Pyrite reveals something far rarer than gold: perfection in form. For centuries known as fool's gold, Pyrite has tricked countless prospectors into believing they'd struck it rich. But while chasing gold, they overlooked something more fascinating: a crystal that nature carved into near-perfect geometry. Pyrite forms in astonishing cubic structures, each face gleaming like a polished mirror. In places like Navajoon, Spain, entire clusters emerge from limestone beds as though chiseled by a master architect. Some of these natural sculptures feature interlocking cubes stacked at impossible angles, like a golden skyline rising from stone. When sunlight hits the surface, Pyrite doesn't just reflect, it blazes. The metallic luster radiates in brilliant golds and silvers, giving it an almost mechanical beauty. And yet, it's entirely natural. High-quality, museum-grade specimens from Navajoon can measure up to 3 inches across and fetch $1,500 to $5,000 on the collector's market. But even the smaller pieces, when well-formed, are breathtaking. Pyrite is one of the rare crystals where mathematics becomes art. It's not soft or romantic. It's bold, angular, and precise. A shimmering contradiction that draws you in, not because it's rare, but because it's too perfect to ignore. In a world obsessed with sparkle, Pyrite reminds us that sometimes the most beautiful things aren't delicate. They're the earth itself engineering them. Ranked 9, Celestite, skylight trapped in stone. No thunder announces it, no fire surrounds it. And yet, Celestite glows with a calm so absolute that it seems to come from the sky. Formed in sedimentary pockets beneath ancient seabeds, Celestite crystallizes as orthorhombic blades or tabular clusters, often pale blue, icy gray, or colorless. But when exposed in full, especially in geodes mined from Madagascar, its presence is anything but subtle. Celestite's luster is gentle, neither metallic nor glassy, but carries a softness that diffuses light like early dawn. In some specimens, the crystals bloom in radial sprays that span over 12 inches, each point reflecting a cold flame. Others form cathedral-like interiors, where pointed towers rise in stillness from geode walls like a chorus frozen in song. Beyond its aesthetic purity, Celestite holds symbolic weight across cultures. It is associated with clarity, transcendence, and the celestial. The name itself is rooted in Latin, celestis, meaning heavenly. That etymology feels earned, not given. Celestite breaks easily and cannot be polished to hardness. Yet this fragility is part of its identity. A crystal that doesn't demand light, it gathers it. Large specimens with transparent, undamaged blades can command $300 to $1,500, depending on symmetry, saturation, and clarity. The finest examples are housed in light-controlled displays, not to preserve value but to preserve the atmosphere. While others dazzle with fire, Celestite does something rarer. It whispers in light. Ranked 8, Rhodochrosite, the crystal that bled in layers. Color in nature rarely appears tender and deliberate until Rhodochrosite unfolds its story, one translucent layer at a time. Composed primarily of manganese carbonate, Rhodochrosite is unmistakable in its hue. A warm, saturated pink deepens into raspberry red when iron replaces manganese in its lattice. In its purest crystal form, it grows as rhombohedral prisms, sharp, defined, and naturally lustrous. Yet its most visually captivating structures emerge not from sharpness, but from rhythm. At the Sweet Home Mine in Colorado, once a source of silver, this gem stole the stage. Deep within its quartz veins, rhodochrosite formed concentric bands, each contour a pulse of mineral memory. When sliced, these orbs resemble bleeding roses or fossilized velvet. Some collectors refer to them as stone blossoms. Specimens from the Sweet Home Mine have shattered price ceilings. One iconic piece, the Alma King, measures 6.5 inches across and resides today at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. Similar high-grade rhombohedrons, unmarred and transparent, fetch between $2,000 and $12,000 US per crystal, depending on clarity, saturation, and provenance. However, value alone does not explain rhodochrosite's hold on the eye. It doesn't shimmer, it doesn't flash, it simply radiates, an inward light born from balance, color, and organic symmetry. Rhodochrosite doesn't just display beauty, it remembers it. Ranked 7, Aquamarine, the ocean carved in crystal. Some stones imitate water, and then there is Aquamarine, a crystal that appears sculpted by the ocean. Aquamarine belongs to the beryl family and owes its signature hue to traces of iron within its hexagonal lattice. The finest specimens don't just show color, they carry clarity, a transparency that rivals the stillness of Arctic ice. Shades range from pale glacier blue to saturated sea tones, but none have matched the singular presence of one, the Dom Pedro Aquamarine. Discovered in the early 1980s in the Minas Gerais region of Brazil, this colossal crystal once measured over 3 feet in length and weighed more than 100 pounds in rough form. After surviving a near-shattering extraction, it was entrusted to world-renowned gem artist Bernd Munsteiner, who transformed it into a vertical obelisk of cut light. 14 inches tall, 10,363 carats, sculpted into a spiraling prism that captures and refracts light as if it were liquid in motion. Today, the Dom Pedro is housed at the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C. Not behind security glass, but displayed like a frozen waterfall, upright and glowing under targeted illumination. Though aquamarine is more abundant than emerald, large clean crystals over 50 carats remain rare. High-grade faceted stones, especially those exhibiting a rich blue without heat treatment, can command $500 to $1,500 per carat. But beyond price or scale, aquamarine's beauty lies in its fluid stillness, a moment of water caught mid-fall and immortalized in crystalline form. It does not dazzle like fire. It flows with light and does not stop. Ranked 6, Larimar, the Caribbean trapped in stone. Some crystals shimmer like fire, others glow like ice. Larimar does neither. It breathes like an ocean caught in mid-wave. Formed in ancient volcanic flows within the Bajoruco mountain range of the Dominican Republic, Larimar is a rare blue variety of pectolite mineral. In most regions of the world, pectolite forms in grays or whites, but here and nowhere else, a precise geological cocktail, copper, calcium, and sodium, gave rise to a hue so striking it defied classification: Caribbean blue laced with swirls of sea foam, white reef, and storm gray. Larimar does not grow in points or towers. It manifests as nodules and fractured veins within basalt. When cut and polished, the finest pieces resemble aerial maps of tropical shallows, each pattern unique, like waves sketched by hand. Discovered officially in 1974, its presence remained unknown to the global market until the late 20th century. Since then, its appeal has spread not through royal courts or auction houses, but by word of mouth, stone by stone, artisan by artisan. High-quality Larimar cabochons, over 25 millimeters wide, free from brown matrix or cracks, can command $50 to $300 per piece. Collectors value those that display high contrast and saturated blues. Larimar does not demand brilliance or faceting to impress. Its impact lies in familiarity, not with wealth, but with memory. The sky, the tide, the calm before the storm. This is beauty born not from precision, but from the place. Ranked 5, Lapis Lazuli, the blue that spoke before language. Long before blue was a pigment, It was a power, and no stone has ever spoken that power more clearly than Lapis Lazuli. First unearthed in the Sari Song mines of northeastern Afghanistan over 6,000 years ago, lapis is not a single mineral but a fusion of lazurite, calcite, and pyrite bonded under tectonic force in metamorphic heat. What results is not just a color, but a texture of depth. Deep ultramarine saturated with gold-like flecks and soft white veining, as if the night sky had been ground into rock. In the ancient world, the lapis was more than ornament. It was currency in Mesopotamia, a funerary offering in Egypt, and divine matter in Persia. Pharaohs carved it into seals, priests ground it into sacred powder, and centuries later, artists of the Renaissance transformed it into ultramarine, the most expensive paint on earth, reserved for halos and heavens. Visually, lapis commands from stillness. When polished, its surface does not sparkle. It absorbs. Its blue pulls light inward, creating a matte richness that feels infinite. Unlike translucent gems, it reveals nothing beneath, only the surface. And even that holds mystery. Fine-grade lapis, with minimal calcite and high lazurite content, is still mined in limited quantities. Hand-carved pieces over 2 inches wide, with uniform color and natural pyrite inclusion, can sell for $200 to $1,000, depending on provenance and artistry. Lapis, it does not shine to impress. It endures to be remembered. Ranked 4. Fluorite, the prism that nature grew. Beauty in crystals often comes in singular form, one color, one shape, one light. Fluorite never agreed to that. This calcium fluoride mineral is known in gemology as the most colorful crystal in the world. Found in cubic, octahedral, and even dodecahedral formations, fluorite pushes structures to the edge of elegance. Yet it's the color range that defies expectations. Greens, purples, blues, golds, and pinks, often multiples of these within a single stone, create zoning patterns resembling stained glass or mineral kaleidoscopes. But beauty here is not only visual, it's interactive. Under ultraviolet light, fluorite fluoresces have an eerie radiance, glowing in blue, violet, or white depending on their chemical inclusions. In daylight, some varieties shift tone as they rotate, revealing subtle transitions in saturation that change with perspective. Primary sources include China, Mexico, England's Rogerley mine, and Illinois in the United States. Rogerley fluorite is prized among collectors for its daylight fluorescence, crystals that appear emerald green indoors and bluish under the sun. Though fluorite ranks low on the Mohs scale, just 4 out of 10, its perfect cleavage in 4 directions allows lapidaries to cut it into flawless cubes or geometric sculptures. High-quality cabinet specimens with sharp terminations and saturated color can reach $500 to $3,000, mainly in undamaged clusters over 4 inches wide. Fluorite doesn't endure pressure. It reveals light through fragility. It isn't the hardest, the rarest, or the most valuable. It's the one that reminds the eye how pure color truly behaves. Ranked 3. Esquel Pallasite, Earth's crystal forged in space. Before Earth formed continents, before it had oceans, a stone was already traveling across the void, carrying within it gems born from the death of another world. The Esquel Pallasite meteorite, discovered near Chubut, Argentina, in 1951, is not a single mineral but a cosmic mosaic. Sliced open, it reveals transparent olivine crystals, some gem-quality peridot, suspended in a metallic matrix of nickel-iron alloy. Each polished section appears like stained glass, sealed inside steel, with amber and green crystals glowing as if backlit by a distant star. These olivine inclusions are not randomly embedded. They float within the matrix in near-zero tension, creating an optical depth unlike terrestrial stone. The effect is surreal, organic curves of yellow-green brilliance encased in glistening silver veins, as if geology and astronomy had collaborated on a single sculpture. Cut slabs of esquel, suitable for display, often measure 6 to 10 inches across, and pristine specimens with high transparency and symmetry can command $10,000 to $30,000, especially when polished on both sides and free of oxidation. This is not a gem formed by Earth's pressure or erosion. It is planetary debris, a remnant of a shattered asteroid, possibly from the core mantle boundary of a destroyed protoplanet. Ranked 2. Halley's Comet Opal, the fire that fell with the sky. Not every gemstone arrives quietly. Some descend with myths already written into them. The Halley's Comet Opal was unearthed in 1986 at Lightning Ridge, New South Wales, Australia, the same year its namesake comet returned through Earth's skies. But this opal did not blaze like a meteor. It pulsed. It weighed over 1,980 carats in the rough, making it the largest uncut black opal ever discovered. Visually, it defies containment. Neon green, electric blue, and blood orange bands race across its dark body tone like lightning under the skin. The play of color is not scattered but structured, sheets of spectral fire layered like stratified plasma, each turn of the stone revealing a different flare. Opals that shimmer softly or show pastel hues are optical aggression. Its color bars measure over 0.6 inches thick, a rarity elevating it to legendary status among gemologists and collectors alike. The depth of color is matched only by its narrative, a gemstone forged underground, but named for something born in the stars. Though never cut, the Halley's Comet Opal is priceless in more ways than carat weight. Its visual intensity, mass, and cosmic timing make it a cultural relic of geology and history. Most opals flicker. This one erupts. And though it came from Earth, everything about it feels like a message from space. In first place, Amethyst Geode, the Empress of Uruguay. Standing over 3.2 meters tall and weighing nearly 2.5 tons, the Empress of Uruguay is not a crystal, but a monument. Unearthed from the basalt-rich soils of Artigas, a region along Uruguay's northern border, this amethyst geode didn't arrive in fragments. It emerged as a single, unbroken cathedral of color. Its cavern walls are lined with thousands of violet quartz points, each terminated to perfection and aligned by nature's unseen geometry. The color saturation is imperial, deep royal purple that shifts subtly in tone depending on the light. Where most amethyst presents in modest lavender, this one burns with indigo density, as if aged in darkness for millennia. And there's symmetry, not forced but organic. Columns of crystal grow inward toward a hollow heart, narrowing with purpose. Some spires stretch over 18 inches long, each tipped in gold-laced terminations caused by traces of iron. The effect is cathedral-like, not only in size but also in reverence. Light entering its chamber does not bounce. It sinks, absorbed into a mineral silence that feels older than sound itself. Displayed today in the Crystal Caves Museum in Queensland, Australia, the Empress is guarded not by glass but by awe. There is no market price, auction bid, or appraisal that could contain it. This is not a gemstone admired by rotation or set into rings. It is a geological sovereign, crowned by time, sculpted by lava, enthroned in permanence. From meteorite fragments that lit up the sky to crystal chambers hidden beneath continents, these stones are more than rare. They are relics of time itself. Each tells a different story: fire and pressure, silence and eruption, patience and precision. Together, they remind us that Earth's most wondrous creations weren't built in years, but in eons. If you found wonder in these natural marvels, hit like, subscribe for more hidden treasures of our planet, and share the story with someone who still believes the Earth holds secrets worth uncovering. Because the most beautiful crystals were never crafted. They were forged quietly by time.